There are 5 phrases you probably say to your child every single day. At breakfast, at bedtime, at the park, in the car. You say them because your parents said them. Their parents said them. The whole Western world says them. Japanese parents don't. Not once, not ever. And here's the part that's going to sting. Every single one of these phrases sounds loving. They sound supportive. They sound like good parenting. But each one is quietly teaching your child something you never intended. By the end of this video, you'll know all 5. You'll know why Japanese parents refuse to say them. And you'll know what they say instead. Phrases so simple, you can start using them at dinner tonight. Let's start with the one you probably said this morning. Number 1. Good job. You say it when your child finishes a drawing, when they eat their vegetables, when they put their shoes on, when they breathe in the correct direction. Good job. Great work. Amazing. Wonderful. Well done. It feels like encouragement. It feels like love. But here's what it actually teaches a child. It teaches them that the reason to do something is to hear those words from you. The drawing wasn't for the joy of drawing. The vegetables weren't for health. The shoes weren't for independence. It was all for the 2-word reward at the end. Japanese parents almost never praise the result. Instead, they notice the effort. A Japanese mother watching her child finish a drawing doesn't say, "Good job." She says something closer to, "You used a lot of colors today." Or simply, "You worked on that for a long time." No judgment, no evaluation, just observation. The child learns that the doing was the point, not the approval that followed. Tonight, the next time your child finishes something, resist the urge to evaluate. Instead, describe what you saw. You stacked those really high. You spent a long time on that. Watch how differently your child responds when they feel seen instead of scored. Number 2. Be careful. This is the phrase Western parents say more than any other at playgrounds, parks, and anywhere a child is moving freely. Be careful on the slide. Be careful with the scissors. Be careful, you'll fall. It sounds protective. It is not. Every time a child hears, "be careful," their brain receives one message. The world is dangerous and you can't handle it. You are not teaching them caution, you are teaching them fear. And a child raised on fear does not become a careful adult. They become a frozen one. Japanese parents handle risk completely differently. When a child is climbing something high, a Japanese mother does not shout from the bench. She stays quiet. She watches. If she says anything at all, she says something like, "How does that feel under your feet?" Or, "Do you feel steady?" She redirects the child's attention inward, toward their own body, their own balance, their own judgment. She is building a child who trusts their own senses, not a child who waits for permission to move. This week, at the playground, try replacing every "be careful" with one quiet question. Do you feel steady? You are not removing safety. You are moving it from your mouth into their body, where it actually belongs. Number 3. You're so smart. This is the phrase Western parents believe builds confidence. Your child solves a puzzle. You're so smart. Your child reads a word. You're a genius. Your child counts to 10. You're the smartest kid in the world. Research has shown for decades that this backfires catastrophically. Children who are told they are smart develop a fixed mindset. They begin to avoid challenges, because if they fail, it means they are no longer smart. The label becomes a cage. The child stops trying new things to protect the identity you gave them. Japanese parents never label the child. They acknowledge the process. A Japanese mother whose child solves a puzzle says, "You didn't give up." A child who reads a word hears, "You practiced that many times." The difference is everything. You're smart says the ability is fixed. You either have it or you don't. You didn't give up says the ability is earned, and you can earn more of it tomorrow. Tonight, replace every "you're so smart" with one sentence about what your child actually did. You kept trying even when it was hard. you will be building the kind of confidence that no failure can take away. Number 4. Stop crying. Don't cry, you're fine. This is the phrase that does the deepest damage, and almost every parent on earth says it. When a child is crying and you say, "Stop crying," you're telling them that their emotions are a problem to be solved, that sadness is inconvenient, that tears are wrong. The child does not stop feeling the pain. They stop showing it to you. And that difference between not feeling and not showing is the beginning of a lifetime of emotional suppression. Japanese parents treat crying completely differently. When a child cries, the Japanese mother does not try to stop it. She says nothing at all, or she says, "That was really frustrating, wasn't it?" She names the feeling without judging it. She doesn't fix, she witnesses. This teaches the child something no amount of "stop crying" ever can. My feelings are allowed. I am not broken for having them. Someone sees me and is not afraid of my pain. This is the hardest one to change because stop crying is so deeply wired into Western parenting. But this week, try one thing. When your child cries, instead of saying stop, say what you see. "That really hurt. You're really upset." Say it calmly. Then wait. Let the cry finish on its own. You will be amazed how much faster it passes when you stop fighting it. Number 5. Because I said so. This is the final phrase, the one every parent reaches for when they're tired, overwhelmed, and out of reasons. The child asks why. You can't explain, so you pull rank. It works in the moment. It stops the argument, but it teaches the child one devastating lesson. Power is more important than understanding. The person with authority doesn't need a reason. Obedience is more valuable than thinking. Japanese parents almost never use authority as a reason. When a child asks why, a Japanese mother answers, even when it's hard, even when the answer is complicated, even when she's exhausted. She might say, "Because it's cold outside and your body needs warmth." She might say, "Because other people are sleeping and loud sounds wake them up." She connects the rule to the world, not to her power. The child learns that rules exist for reasons, not because adults are in charge. And a child who understands the reason behind a rule follows it even when no one is watching. This week, the next time you're about to say, "Because I said so," pause. Take 5 seconds. Find the real reason. And share it, even if your child is 3 years old and might not fully understand. They understand more than you think. And the practice of explaining builds a child who thinks instead of a child who just obeys. 5 phrases. 5 quiet replacements. Instead of "good job," describe what you saw. Instead of "be careful," ask if they feel steady. Instead of "you're so smart," name what they did. Instead of "stop crying," name what they feel. Instead of "because I said so," share the reason. None of these are harder to say. They are just harder to remember because the old phrases are so deeply wired. But every time you catch yourself and choose the Japanese way instead, you are building a child who thinks for themselves, trusts their own body, and knows their feelings are allowed. This week, pick one, just one, the one you say most, and replace it for 7 days. Watch what changes in your child. Watch what changes in you. If this video helped you tonight, share it with one parent who needs it. That's the kindest thing you can do. Next week, why Japanese kids never say, "I'm bored," and Western kids can't stop. The surprising reason Japanese children are comfortable with silence, and what that means for your child's attention span, creativity, and emotional health. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, be patient, be present, and trust the quiet. Welcome home.